Good afternoon. My name is Scott Meek and I'm a trainer here at Diesel Laptops. Today we're going to be going over the Diesel Repair website to show you how to access, register, and navigate this database. First, we'll need to start by going to repair.diesellaptops.com. Once we've come to the web page, we'll need to go ahead and create a username and login. To do so, we'll go up to the sign up/login icon located here. Once we click this, if we do not have an account, all we have to do is choose the sign up option located here. Here, you'll just enter in the information and then click register. Once you've registered, you will need to sign in. When you're ready to sign in, you'll input your information located here and click login. Now, once we register, it's important to know all of the different avenues that Diesel Repair will cover. We'll start by going over each one on the taskbar over to the left side of the screen. This is where all of your main information or your main avenues are going to be located. So let's start with truck fault codes. Truck fault codes is where you can input a year, make, and model and gain access to one of the largest fault code databases in our industry. This is going to include fault code information as well as step-by-step troubleshooting for most codes that are listed. So we're going to start by choosing a Cummins engine, 2020. The model will be a B6.7, and then we'll just look up a fault code 123. Once we do that, you'll notice that we have our SPNs and FMIs, as well as our OEM flash codes, or the 123. Now I can click Read More here, which will gain me access to a lot of good information in regards to this fault code, such as circuit descriptions, response from the ECU in terms of which lights will come on in the dash, and then it'll give you a few possible causes that could be causing this fault code. Now, if you need more information for troubleshooting, we'll then click Step-by-Step Troubleshooting located here. We will then click View Document. And now we'll have access to an actual step-by-step troubleshooting guide that can take us from diagnostic all the way to a final repair path. All we have to do is follow these steps, answer the question, and then validate. The next item on the taskbar is going to be Technical Repair Documents. Now, Technical Repair Documents is going to include remove and replace instructions, torque specifications, maintenance intervals, and engine specifications. So let's start by choosing an international. Next, we're going to choose which engine. Then we're also going to choose year make. Followed by the model of engine. And then we have to choose the type of document that we want to investigate. The options that we have are engine specs, maintenance intervals, remove and replace instructions, and torque specifications. For this document, I'm going to choose remove and replace instructions. And now I'm going to choose the remove and replace instructions that I need, and in this case, we're going to use cylinder head and valve train. Once this is done, we can view the document. You'll notice here that it's going to take us from the very beginning with pictures and detailed information, as well as parts labeling, on how to remove and replace the head. Next, we'll go over wiring diagrams. The wiring diagrams are complete with easily searchable and understandable wiring schematics for on-highway vehicles that can even be printed if needed. So, let's go ahead and choose a Detroit diesel. For type, we'll choose engine. For year model, we're going to choose a 2018. For engine model, we're going to choose DD13. And then we have to choose what type of diagram or what component do we need a diagram of. And in this case, we'll choose the motor control module, or the MCM. Once this is done, all we have to do now is click View Diagram. Now you can see that we take very difficult and sometimes confusing schematics. We break them down into a small, easy to read document. These are expandable. We can zoom in if we needed by clicking the positive or negative symbol located here. Next, we have our Vin Decoder. The Vin Decoder is going to allow you to input your VIN number and gain access to what they call the VIN data plate. This is going to include information such as the build date, build location, engine make, engine size, etc. So all we need is our 17-digit VIN number, and we can continue. Once we've entered in our VIN number, now we will have gained access to all of the information listed on the screen. Next, we have equipment fault codes. Equipment fault codes are going to take the user through fault code information that's going to be able to assist you when troubleshooting. Let's start by choosing John Deere engines. Next, we're going to choose the actual engine model, which is a 10.5 liter 6105. Then we'll click search. And now you can see a list of all the fault codes with SPNs, possible PIDs. Once we expand this, that will give you all the information needed to figure out why the fault code is setting and what type of parameters must be met in order for the fault code to be repaired. Next, we have symptom-based troubleshooting. Symptom-based troubleshooting gives you easy-to-read diagnostic procedures for common symptoms. So for an example, we will choose Cummins, engine, year model 2020, engine model X15, and then for this symptom, we'll do lubricating oil consumption. Now once we click View Troubleshooting, you will see a full list in order of checks that you need to make whenever you have an oil consumption complaint. Start from the top and you work your way down towards the bottom. So essentially it starts with the most simple and easiest checks to the most complicated and most difficult to troubleshoot checks. Next, we have truck labor times. Truck labor times is going to allow you to input certain information such as year, make, and model, and the component that needs to be replaced. The result will then give you a low, medium, and high flat rate time for billing guidance. So in this case, let's choose a Mitsubishi Fuso. And then for category, we're going to choose engine fuel system. And then for components, we'll do common rail injector. For the variable, we're going to choose a double cab. Our year range is already set, 2012 to 2018. And then the procedure is remove and replace. You can see here that a low time would be 6.1 hours. The average time for injector replacement will be 7 hours. The high side of time will be 7.9 hours. Also, if there's any notes required for this job, you'll see here that there will be a note. In other words, in order to do this job, we will need an injector puller, and here's the part number for the puller that is required to remove and replace that injector. Next, we have the diesel dictionary. The Diesel Dictionary is going to give the end user access to a large acronym list, which can help assist if the customer or user is not familiar with certain terminology in our industry. So for an example, if someone said, hey, can you go check your ACM? If we did not know what ACM stood for, all we have to do is come to the acronym list, type in ACM, and then it will tell us acronyms that match. So the two options for that are going to be After Treatment Control Module or Airbag Control Module. If you're dealing with an engine after treatment issue, then it's obvious you would be dealing with the after treatment control module. If you're dealing with an airbag issue, then that would be obviously an airbag control module. So this can be certainly helpful for some of those acronyms that are hard to understand or acronyms that you have not heard often. Next, we have Customer Connect. Customer Connect is going to allow the user to find and get directions to local shops in your area in the chance that you may need parts, service, or towing, and this will happen quickly and efficiently. So, if I find our zip code for home base, then I choose a range of 25 miles, and then I want to find a dealership local to me. I'll choose dealership, and then I'll click search. Now it's going to ask me, is there a specific manufacturer that you'd like, or it'll give me the full list of manufacturers here. So once I find the shop that I want to go to, all I have to do is click read more, and that will give me a link to their webpage. Also, if I wanted to use the map icon or option, I can just click on any one of these, and that will give me also the website and the phone number. Next, we're going to have parts lookup with exploded views. Parts lookup with exploded views allows the customer to have access to exploded parts diagrams that will also include part numbers of the parts in view. So for an example, if we choose exploded views, next I'm going to choose the engine, and in this case we'll use a Duramax. For the model, we're going to choose a 6.6 liter, 2015 to 2016 year range. And then the category, we're going to choose the engine intake manifold. Once this is done, you're going to notice that it's going to show you the intake manifold assembly. It's going to give you highlighted components with detailed pictures. And then if you need any one of these, you just look at the number that's needed. So if I needed to replace 516, I will then scroll down until I see 516. I will then get a description, a quantity, the part number, and then if there's any gaskets or any associated pieces that are needed, you'll also see that in the notes section listed here. Next, we're going to have parts lookup or parts cross. So when I click parts cross, all I have to do now is enter in a part number that I want to have cross-referenced. The parts cross application has over 2.5 million parts currently on the database that are ready for viewing. The parts lookup parts cross currently has access to over 2.5 million parts that are ready to be cross-referenced. So now let's enter in a part number. In this case, we'll do a filter number, LF9001. Once we enter that in and we click search, it's going to give us all the possible cross-reference options that we have available. If any of these interest you, all you have to do is click on View Part, and it will give you more details on that specific part. Also, sometimes you'll get an option to actually purchase that part directly. We hope that the navigation of the diesel repair has been helpful for you. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of all the information that's listed within this software. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our sales team at 888-983-1975. Thank you and have a great afternoon.